السلام عليكم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم صلاة والسلام على خاتم الأنبياء سيد محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. I have to say that I saw that little slideshow yesterday and it brought tears to my eyes because I don't know if I can show you the pictures. A lot of the pictures brought tears to my eyes, but can I back it up like this and not play it, I wonder? Yeah. Oh. Okay, I guess I can't. Anyway, the picture in there of the women at the workshop and the panels and things like this, it really moved me because I feel like this is something new that we as Muslim women are able to see now. In the 5 years I've been back from Syria, I've noticed an uptake in women on panels and women speaking. Here in Minnesota, for the very first time ever, they invited an out-of-town woman speaker. And it was Hind Mekki, who we all know very well, and I've worked with her before, and we love her work on her Tumblr side entrance. And mashallah, so I'm just really excited about that, and I feel like it's an answer to a lot of du'as, inshallah. So alhamdulillah for that, alhamdulillah for the people who put this She Is Me slideshow together about Rabata. We'll have more coming that explain more about our different programs. But I enjoyed that so much. So we're gonna it's all over. You can find it anywhere. It's on YouTube, and you can find it on your social media places and share it if you like. The topic of today's live stream it's multiple layered, just like Rabata is always multiple layered. The people tell me, Anza, I'm confused. What are you doing? Because I always have something new that I want to do. And yesterday I was talking to Hind Mekki, and we were talking about how the multiple problems that we have in our ummah and how much work we have to do. And I think that's why I have multiple projects going on. That's why we at Rabata are working on many different fronts. And in the same way, this live stream is working on many different fronts. On one hand, I want to celebrate Ramadan with you today and talk about how we can grow this Ramadan in honor of our monthly live streams. We always have a monthly live stream to talk about that month and talk about what's going on in the community and in our ummah, wherever we are. So I want to do that. And I also want to launch the idea of She Is Me with you. I want to celebrate these 15 centuries of female scholarship with you today. And I also want to do, every Ramadan we have our khitma celebrations. If you remember, we usually do 3 live streams where we all make dua because somebody or many people have finished their first or second or third khitma of Ramadan. Khitma meaning a complete reading of the entire Quran from the beginning to the end. So I'm hoping to accomplish all of these things in 45 minutes, and I think we're going to be fine, so nobody panic there. That's what we're going to do, inshallah. So first of all, let's talk about Ramadan. Let's really celebrate together that Ramadan has begun. And we've already celebrated almost a whole week of Ramadan. Tomorrow will be the 7th day, and we would have fasted or prayed extra prayers or fed other people, or what. If you haven't begun to fast yet, then you perhaps have been making extra iftar for people, or just being part of your community. We've been fasting and celebrating Ramadan for a whole week. And already some of us are tired. Maybe you've already had that really bad day with the really bad headache. Maybe your days have been easier or harder. Maybe it's really difficult to get up in the morning. I know the days are long and the nights are short. It's a lesson for us that really the proverb that winter is the spring of the believer becomes very clear. Because in the winter the night is long and you can pray and you can eat and you can sleep when Ramadan is in the winter. But when it's in the summer, you kind of got to choose what you're going to do. Am I going to sleep or am I going to eat? Am I going to sleep or am I going to pray? Am I going to eat or am I going to sleep? So I know that we're all struggling with those decisions and the cooking at night as well, and those hardships. And I want to tell you that every Ramadan has its own flavor. I don't want you to look at this Ramadan of long days and short nights and perhaps less worship than you're used to as a failure or as something that you're not doing as good of a job as you should do. I want you to look at it as an opportunity. Look at these long days of fasting as an opportunity to see what your body can do. That your body can go for 15 hours in some places, 18, in other places, 19, some 20 even. I think we're 18 here, 18 and a half in Minnesota. You can go all of those hours without food and drink and still get up and still go to work and still do what you have to do. And every single minute of that day, you are in worship. Ramadan is a month for everyone. It's a month for, when I lived in Syria, everyone fasted. I mean, even people who didn't pray, they fasted. Like, that was the last thing that people gave up. Everyone kept on fasting. And so Ramadan would come as a cure to people. And it still does. It comes as a cure to our illnesses. Because every moment of the day, you are worshiping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And in that worship, you are drawing nearer to Him. We have to know this. That in worshiping Allah, Azza wa Jal, in that worship of Him, even when it's hard, and actually more so when it's difficult, we are drawing closer and closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and also to being the person that we were meant to be. So those of you who have longer hours, you are blessed because you have more hours of fasting, more hours of an opportunity to get closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And then at night, as you're rushing to get suhoor, iftar done and suhoor done and tarawih done and feed your family, and maybe you're missing out on some of your tarawih prayers. Still, you're living your night in order to fast the next day. And therefore, your nights are also blessed worship for you. And so you have 24 hours. I have 24 hours. We all have 24 hours of constant and consistent drawing near to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, no matter what. And that's why it's said that Ramadan is the month that will bring the non-believer to belief, the shaky one who is practicing to practice, the repenter to the level of to have an accepted repentance and reaching that level of wanting to really work hard. The one who already understands and is already working hard, that person goes another step to the step of ihsan. And from ihsan to even another step as we move farther along and further along this path to the great feeling of truly following in the footsteps of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, in his sunnah that is more than a number of rak'ahs, in a sunnah that is more than brushing our teeth, though brushing our teeth is very important, in a sunnah that is more than the details of how we eat, but in a sunnah of how we live, Ramadan teaches us how to live. It teaches us to be patient when we're frustrated. It teaches us to deal. It teaches us to deal with pain, for example. My poor daughter is suffering from a tooth issue and the dentist can't see her, and she's loading up on painkillers in the morning, which of course wear off by whatever, 2 o'clock, 12 o'clock maybe. And then she's suffering with that pain. And we have one of the companions of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. If you remember, those of you who took the companions class, I should test you now and see if you can remember who he was, who actually, when he heard the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam say that the one who is in pain is receiving reward, he actually prayed that he would always be a little bit sick. And we count on the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but if you are in pain, if you are a person with a toothache, if you are a person with joint pain, if you're a person who gets a headache when you fast, if you are a person who's just physically exhausted, know that these are washing your sins. Have you come to Ramadan with more sin than you would like? I have, to be sure. Then let's rejoice and be excited about the headache and the tooth pain and the joint pain. I don't mean we're not going to take medication, but I also know the medication isn't going to last all day. So let's rejoice in it. And of course, I know that some of you have debilitating illnesses, and some of you cannot fast by doctor's orders because of your illnesses. So for that also, rejoice that even though you can't fast with the rest of the ummah, you are getting reward for your patience with your, Taiba did it. Good job, Taiba. Proud of you. I was looking for a plug for the class. Good job. And so if you are a person who can't fast because of your illness, at least you know that in this month your reward for your patience in that illness is doubled, it's quadrupled, it's 10 times more reward for you. So let's get excited about this month. Let's get excited about it. And let's also look at all the different things that are happening. So are you spending time in community iftars? I want to just warn us of a few things. I want to warn us of choosing carefully the community iftars that we go to. Go to the ones, the causes that you care about, your local mosque, the places that you really are planning to give them money. And participate in it. Give money. Be good to your local community. Give money to them. Get up and pray with them. Do that local stuff. But then on the other nights, participate at home. Or if you're going to your mosque to pray, participate in that prayer. Fully participate. And make sure that part of that participation is your heart that is not judgmental. When we're in the community and when we're standing in lines and praying with each other, sometimes we like to judge how everybody else is praying. Why is that woman standing like that? Why isn't she wearing socks? Why is she wearing socks? Why is her skirt short? Why is her skirt long? Her hijab isn't good enough. Her prayer doesn't look like my prayer. Her kid is moving around, or she's moving around. That's going to destroy your prayer. That's not our business. So make sure that when we're standing amongst the community, this is a microcosm of how we need to live in community. So when you go and stand in community in Taraweeh, your focus should be on the Imam. Your focus should be on the words of the Imam, which are the Quran. Your focus should be on that prayer, and it's the way the prayer works is you go through the Imam because he is your leader, or she if you're praying with women, and you're going through that Imam. You're standing behind. You've agreed to stand behind that Imam and pray. So just focus there. Just focus there, and pretend that you're standing behind your Imam in front of the Kaaba. Actually visualize the Kaaba in front of you. Imagine that you are there at the Kaaba, standing in long lines of the people who have been invited to do Amrah in Ramadan. And focus and forget about the faults of people. And instead, when it's an opportunity to make dua for the people that are standing with you. In this way, our hearts will come together. Our hearts will come together, and we will stop having troubles in our communities, because this Taraweeh teaches us how to live in community. When we're no longer praying together and Ramadan is over and we're not praying together every single day, then we should have had practice of not being judgmental of every little thing. Practice of focusing on the goal. Focusing on the goal and focusing on the goal of our leadership, the Prophet ﷺ, and the message that he sent to us, that he gave us. And with that practice, we will have healthier communities. We will have healthier communities, inshallah. So I really want to advise all of us, when we're in the prayer, focus. Focus. Don't let your mind wander. Don't think about the people around you. Don't think about how they're making mistakes. Don't think about how they're doing things right either. Just think about your own prayer. And make it a taraweeh. Make it a beautiful breeze for the soul. Make it a beautiful connection between you and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Make it a place where this is a short night. You don't have a night for 100 rakahs at night. This is what you got. This taraweeh is going to be the majority of your prayer at night. So make it count. Focus. Focus on that relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And also let me advise everyone, and myself included, to start planning your iftars. Who are you going to feed? I'm very lucky that we have a mosque here that will take donations to support the iftars that they give. And so I feel lucky in that way, because it makes it easier to feed people and to to fattar al-alam, to break people's fast in Ramadan. This one, what you want to do. I also suggest that you invite people over for iftar. And inshallah, I shall invite people over for iftar in this month of Ramadan, at least once. I don't, of course, have family that I have to invite. Well, except for my children, of course, and I shall invite them more than once. But invite some community members. Think about who might be alone and invite them over for iftar. And see how you can arrange a beautiful iftar for many people. But don't do a lot of them. Don't overdo it so you're not all day, every day in the kitchen. And also think about your sadaqah. Think about your sadaqah. Where are you putting your sadaqah? Because we recognize that the sadaqah we give in this month is multiplied. And you know the example in Surah Al-Baqarah of the corn cob? And the corn, how each corn, what are they called? These little corn seeds? I don't know what they're called. The little corn thingies in the corn thing. Kernel. Thank you, honey. Every kernel on the ear, and this is a metaphor for our sadaqah. So in Ramadan, it's multiplied over that. So I want you to think about it. Now, everyone just imagine. I wish I should have brought a prop to show you a corn kernel. Can I have an admin get us a picture of a corn on the cob here down below? I want you to think about this corn cob and how you've done this ear of corn. You've given money to someone. You've done your sadaqah, and it multiplies on that corn, that ear of corn for all of those kernels, which then multiply 70 times. So you become a true farmer, and that's the beauty of sadaqah in Ramadan, that you become a farmer of khair, where you are spreading the goodness around. I have organizations in Minnesota that I give to every year because I see the good that they're doing. And I think you should look at your local communities and think about that. Even in our She Is Me campaign, our support.rabata.org campaign this year, we are supporting another organization. I really think that very often Muslim organizations, and perhaps all nonprofit organizations, we become very worried about, are people going to give to us? Are people going to give to us? And so we worry, like if we hear about someone giving to another organization. And I think that we need to, if we think about the early concept of sadaqah and how it went to Bayt al-Mal al-Muslimin, to the treasury, right? That we don't have anyone to organize this treasury for everyone. So we're giving to all the different organizations. But how nice for us to think about here's our corn. I love it. How nice for us to think about that we are all a treasury together. And so if you look at the support.rabata.org page, you're going to find an organization there called Sisters Need a Place. And that's a local women's shelter. And we are fundraising for them. Like, we are fundraising and planning to give them, inshallah, a check for $15,000 at the end of the month. We really hope that we reach our goal for them at the end of the 15 days. Because we want communities, remember, this is an educational fundraiser. We want to be teaching one another and learning from one another, not only about knowledge, but also about how to live. And I believe we need to live in generosity, not only as individuals, but also as organizations. Organizations also need to be generous to the organizations around them. And SNAP has been suffering this year, and so we felt that it was important that someone step up and do what they can to help them. And here's your ears of corn. Isn't this beautiful? Allah creates such beauty. They're like little jewels. They're like diamonds, all put together in juicy little pockets of khair. They're just gorgeous, mashallah. And what a beautiful metaphor. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us of those who are farming corn kernels, ears of corn, again and again and again across our ummah. As women, we have a unique opportunity for philanthropy. We have a unique opportunity to empower one another and empower ourselves. And the support.rabata.org, She Is Me, what we're doing there, I'm going to move this so I can show you this one, is in celebrating 15 centuries of female scholarship, our idea is to really bring forth both the understanding of our history, and also let's get some positivity about the women who are around right now working. Let's have positivity about you. We could only have 15 women because they're only 14, because there are only 14 centuries in our 15th century. We're asking everyone to join up and be part of that 15th century. We'll all put selfies on social media, inshallah, because we are part of She Is Me. But I want to celebrate. I'm tired of the negativity. I'm tired of the put downs of our ummah from within ourselves. Like, we even feel bad about our ummah ourselves. And I don't want to feel bad. I want to feel proud. I want to be proud of the works of all of you and the work of 15 centuries of women. And to be totally honest, it was difficult to choose the women of the 15 centuries because there are so many women who did so many amazing things. I made little videos of each century, so each day there will be a new one, so you can learn about one each day. And I am also mentioning in the video something about the modern woman who is holding on to the legacy of that woman in her life. And the first century yesterday, you saw it was Ustaza Zainab Ansari. And I really wanted to honor her. And I really want to honor her because she's had a hard year this year. And I really hope that everyone prays for her. And she is a local resident scholar. She's a woman who has really devoted her life to Islam. And of course, you all know of the death of her husband this year. Let's read the Fatiha for him. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Maliki yawm ad-din. Iyaka na'budu wa iyaka nasta'in. Ihdina as-sirata al-mustaqim. Sirata alladhina an'amta alayhim. Ghayri al-maghdubi alayhim wa ad-dallin. Allahumma salli wa sallim wa barik ala Sayyidina Muhammad. And we hope that her grief is softened, and that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala rewards her for her patience and makes her of those like Sulaim, who makes her like Sulaim as a woman who is in the footsteps of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam in Jannah, inshallah. And today will go up at 5 o'clock, so you'll see. And yes, they will be on YouTube and also on our Facebook pages and on all around. But do join us in spreading those around and teaching people about this legacy. Let's teach people. Let's raise money for sure to do our projects, but let's also teach people. Let's teach people. And in that way we get double sadaqah jariyah, because we get the sadaqah jariyah of supporting a program that teaches people, supporting a program that puts out literature and material. Daybreak Press, for example. You get to choose this year which program you want to support. And actually, one of the reasons for that is I want to teach you about Rabata. I find a lot of people asking me questions like, I'd say, what is this? What's Daybreak? What's Ribat? What's Rabata? What's Pilgrims at Home and Circles of Light? And that goes back to what we said in the beginning of the nuanced and multi-levels of work that we need to do if we're going to make positive cultural change. And that's the mission of Rabata, to make positive cultural change. So we need to work educationally, we need to work socially, like with Rabata Care, where we tried to support people. We bought 2 people a car last year. We bought somebody a refrigerator, I think. Yes, we bought someone a refrigerator, and we paid a couple people's rent. We paid some electricity bills, just reaching out to help and empower sisters. And we need to do that social support. Also, we need literature in the world. We need books. Oh my God, we need books. The head of CARE Florida met with the Department of Education and the Secretary of Education, and he asked, what shall I say? And I spoke to him on WhatsApp, and I said, tell them we need books. Our children need to read about a normative Muslim child. Normative Muslims, where Islam is not the problem, but rather is the cure and the help. Not didactic, cheesy stuff, but beautiful, encouraging stuff. And of course, Daybreak Press is all about that. So we need to change that in the culture. We need to do curriculum programs. I noted when I went to ISNA Ed this year that our Islamic studies curriculum programs are really, there's a problem. I did a research. I did a content analysis research project on, I believe, 10 different programs, and they are so negative towards women. And I looked at a rubric of are there pictures of girls praying? Are there women doing good deeds in these? I looked at the pictures. Are there women doing good deeds? Are the women of Islam represented as whole people? Do we talk about what do we talk about in when we're referring to women in these curriculum books? And I found that the grades of most of them on the rubric, their grade was like 1 or 3. And in one book, a grade 1 book, there wasn't a single picture of a girl throughout the whole thing. In that same program in grade 2, there was a picture of a girl. It was a woman holding a child. Anytime in any of the books where there was a woman, a girl, somebody praying, it was always a boy. So, I mean, if you were a girl, you might think, well, when do I pray? And yes, and as Sophia is saying, they're also rarely multicultural. They're rarely multi-race. They're rarely multi-ethnicity. And even with food, like if they talk about food, we're talking about very particular ethnic foods. So this is something we really have to work on. And we opened a brand new program called Legacy Leadership and Legacy. You saw our first work in that in March with the unit about women in the past, the 4 women of Women's History Month, Muslim Women in Women's History Month. And the St. Paul Public School District, we were able to provide them for free. And the St. Paul Public School District picked them up and has put Nana Asma'u in the Women's History curriculum of the entire St. Paul Public School District. Allahu Akbar, how great is that? Huh? Hoo-hoo. So these are the kinds of things we need to do to make and build cultural change. Daybreak Shop is building huge cultural change. We are working on very particular issues. We're actually working to change legislature in Minnesota about gun violence. We're working anti-gun violence here, and we're working with the Jewish Council of Women in the Twin Cities area. And they have experience in working with the legislature, so we don't know what we're doing. So we're working together so we can go in and be seen and fix the laws in Minnesota, which are pretty serious laws that need to be changed in Minnesota about gun violence. And that's one of the things Daybreak Shop does. Daybreak Shop also, of course, provides the best books you've ever seen. And also we have students who come in and have meetings there, and they come in, and we have people that come in and study, and they say, this is an environment where I can learn. Also, we pray Taraweeh every single night there, and it's a women's Taraweeh, the only place in the United States, in a public place, not in a home, where women's Taraweeh is prayed every single night. Allahu Akbar. That's what I'm going to say about that. Allahu Akbar. And then, awesome booksellers, right? And then we have, at the end of the month, we'll do ihya every night as well. We'll pray for the whole night. So this is what cultural change is about. This is what cultural change is about. And it's about looking at all those levels. And that's why we seem confusing sometimes. And that's why this is an educational fundraiser to learn about our history and also to help you learn what is Rabata doing. And so when you go to support.rabata.org, you can look at all the different all the different projects of Rabata and learn about them. And also we will have more slideshows for you helping to explain all the things we're doing. I had somebody send me a check, and she said, Anse, it was a really big, fat, juicy check, mashallah. And she said, Anse, I want you to divide that money in every single place so that I can have reward from every piece of this fund, every project of Rabata. I want a piece of reward from all of it. And I said, this is a beautiful, beautiful sunnah to follow. I'm going to follow the same thing in my own donation to Rabata. I'm going to, inshallah, put in every single project. How many projects? Well, Rabata General is the general fund. So that's a project because we, of course, need money in the general to run things. Ribat, let's count them. Ribat, Daybreak Press, Daybreak Shop, Leadership and Legacy, Rabata Care, Project Lena, which is the convert one. And inshallah, if we raise money there, we're taking Project Lena on the road. We're taking it to different states. And we're going to go to different places and do the Project Lena workshop face-to-face again. And inshallah, we're going to publish the Project Lena workbook. We will, Liz, inshallah. If we get enough money, we will come to the Bay Area. Bi-iznillahi ta'ala. Okay? Inshallah, we will contact you. Admin, get Liz's info so we can contact her, inshallah. All right? And then, wait, did I say them all? Which one did I lost my train of thought because I got so excited about Project Lena. Okay, let's do it again. Circles of Light. Thanks, Sarah. And Circles of Light, which, if this one, we've never ever raised money for before. And this time, what we're going to use that money for is we're going to use it to make an app, inshallah, a worship app. And to publish the Pilgrims at Home book and make it a big cultural change across mosques. I've already had mosques come to me and say, hey, we want to do this in our mosque. How can we do it? And I'm like, inshallah, inshallah. We won't have the book by September, but we'll help them and we'll help support them to do it. So, inshallah, those are some of the things we'll do with that money. We have some other ideas as well. And then finally, SNAP. Sisters need a place. Support this wonderful shelter that is supporting. We just sent a wonderful convert there recently. It's a wonderful place. It's a beautiful home. A convert that was here that she didn't have a place to live. She was going to be moving, and she was able to go and stay there for a few days before. She was in actually a home where may Allah forgive us, she was staying with some Muslim people who had offered her a space and a room to rent, I believe, and she was being sexually harassed by the father in that home. And seriously, I mean really seriously. And imagine how painful that is as a convert. Like, you're in need. You're in need, and here you are, and you want to be safe. Her family rejected her, and now she wants to be safe. And instead of getting safety, she got some pretty serious sexual harassment. And so we were able to move her to SNAP, where she got so much healthier. SubhanAllah, I saw her the day before she left. Her face had changed. Like, her face was happier. And for her to have that experience was so important, because she had such a negative experience. It was so important to have that positive experience. And now she's got an apartment, alhamdulillah, and now she has moved actually to a place near to her family. So, alhamdulillah. Anyway, so those are the things we're doing. So go over there and learn about them. Now, we're coming up to the end here, so we want to move to the next piece, which is the dua. And as you can see down here, we will have a 15-hour dua-a-thon. So you mark your calendars, make sure to join us for at least part of that. And a dua-a-thon is, of course, I can't sit online and do 15 hours of a dua-a-thon. So we will be in and out doing the dua, and we also have some things to show you during that time. But we will be in and out, and we will be making dua for 15 hours. For 15 hours. And that will be at the end of some khitmes, inshallah. And it will be the end of our She Is Me campaign. And we're really hoping that, and we've had some really beautiful, beautiful words about our dua, khitma duas in Ramadan. So we're hoping that this will be even more powerful. And I have one person in our circles who has finished double checking. I have one person, to make sure that she has. Oh my gosh! Oh, mashallah. We have a person. Oh, I'm going to get tears in my eyes. She just answered me. We have someone who finished the Quran especially for us here today. Especially so we here today could benefit from the dua of her recitation. And the reason I'm looking around is because I would like you now to get I'm just going to pause this as I stand up for 1 second. I would like you to pick up your Quran now, okay? Pick up your Quran and put it next to you, because what we're going to do to join with her in this is we are going to, just 1 second, I want to show you my pretty pink mushaf too.